How's it going, guys? This is me, I'm here, and I'm going to be doing something a little different than I normally do. It's still kind of a game, I guess, but excuse me. I'm going to be playing Autumn's Journey. It's a visual novel, which is pretty much like a book, except it's on the computer, and it's like a choose-your-own-adventure kind of style of stuff if you've never read or played or experienced. I think experienced would be the better word because it kind of encompasses everything. So I don't know what I was doing, but I played one a while ago called Blue Rose, and these people were like somehow related or something. I don't know. I don't know how I got from the Blue Rose visual novel to Autumn's Journey, but this Autumn's Journey came out not like a couple months ago, I think in August. So I'm gonna be playing it. I haven't played any of it yet, and I just want you to know I attempted videos, voices on one video, and never again. No voices. I'm just gonna be reading because I don't think there's any voiced lines, which is generally the case, unless it's like a translated one and everything's not in English. So the voice doesn't really mean anything. But I'm gonna be starting, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna stop talking now. Chapter 1: The End of Summer, quote unquote. This music is really nice too. Sunlight filtered through the airy birch forest as the lush ferns grazed my boots. Why? Okay. Oh, it's space. So usually you can use the arrow keys, but apparently it's space in this one to progress the plot. It's kind of weird. I momentarily shielded my eyes before I turned north, treading carefully. The muggy atmosphere that had hung over the past few months was now being replaced by the subtle crispness of fall. Though the trees were still vibrantly green, apple picking season was fast approaching for the town of Berry. I cheerfully stretched one arm towards the sky, inhaling deeply. Okay, so we meet our first character, Auralee. There we go. And thus my weekly scouting for monsters, bandits, or anything out of the ordinary that may harm local citizens is over.
Right.
Oh my god, there were voices. And that concludes my mission. I laughed, wondering why I was announcing my agenda to no one. I guess I always just wanted to say that out loud. Like the random like voices are kind of off, like throw me off because they're not really saying anything. They're just like random like snippets thrown in there. Walking around alone does prompt you into monologuing just so you can hear a voice. I just wish I wasn't restricted to freelance work in Berry though, ... How long is my training going to last, ? I'm more than ready for knighthood. I can do this. I adjust my belt holding my sword, making sure the hilt can be pulled at a moment's notice. Humming, I decide to meander back to the village by following the thin river down the gentle slope. I loved the terrain here. Not super rocky, not entirely flat, either. There was always an inclination, or higher up, I could get a breathtaking panorama of Berry and its endless orchards. Maybe I picked a wrong day to try to do this. I cannot talk at all. Oh my god. Especially in autumn, when the leaves were so vibrantly red that the entire forest seemed to ignite and the smell of crisp frost and thick fallen foliage lingered welcomely. It was then that I spotted something entirely out of the ordinary near the riverbank, leaning against a birch tree. Thin birch trees were not exactly known to be the comfortable resting spots. Known to be comfortable resting spots. And I did not recognize the stranger's attire. Hello, are you a traveler? His face came into view and I realized he was sleeping, but that's not what caught me off guard. He had beautiful protrusions resembling shale shards jutting out of his long hair, right where someone's ears should be, or was it a decoration covering his ears? I suddenly wanted to touch them, but I resisted. If he woke up in an untimely manner, I could the awkward to explain. At first I was about to leave that I noticed something else rather odd. From a simple glance, I saw no bags, no possessions, or anything else on him. This place was too far away from civilization for a simple afternoon stroll. Was he mugged? And if he had been Barry previously, I would have known. It was that small of a town. Curiosity won me over. Please! Voice, English. I swear I'm a native speaker. Hello? A flicker of concern passed over my face. I grabbed his shoulder and gave it a gentle shake, finding his lack of response unnerving. I quickly hovered a hand in front of his nose. Sure enough, he was breathing. I did not see... Can't even... I swear I know how to speak English. And I did not see any injuries that would suggest he was knocked unconscious. After some more feeble attempts to wake him, I decided to improvise a camp. I did not want to leave him unattended, and I knew I couldn't drag his body very far. Tossing down my bag, I went to work. ... Okay. The fire crackled merrily on the birchwood as I opened my cloth, which contained a lump of rye bread and hard cheese. These were emergency rations, lest I was unable to return to Barry. Mother and father were probably worried. Just as I was about to bite into the cheese, I saw movement and glanced up, eyeing the stirring stranger. Setting my food down, I cautiously shuffled over. I had previously placed his body in a supine position and used my bag as a substitute pillow. Though it was probably more lumpy than anything else, it was better than nothing. Are you awake now? You've been out all afternoon. I was getting worried. He turned his eyes. My microphone is slowly just moving down towards the desk. Hold on. That is the wrong direction. I just made it looser. Okay, I think that's better. I trailed off before I started rambling and watched him curiously as he opened his eyes.
Whoa!
Jesus Christ. In a split second, he shut up and then clumsily fell back. I caught his arm to steady him. Whoa, take it easy. You just got up. He flinched from my skin contact, and I hastily let go, retreating slightly. I didn't want to get any sense of hostility, but he certainly seemed bewildered. Who are you? There was an uneasy edge in his voice, not quite one of panic, but more of anger. I just want to say, when he said, like I could hear like the background noise from the room that they recorded that in, and I'm using like the shitty iPod headphones that only has currently one headphone left on it because I dropped the other into a glass of water. And like, I just want to point that out. So far it's interesting. It was then that I noticed his eyes were of a brilliant amethyst hue, contrasting with his earthly hair tones. Better to remain calm. Auralee, I found you in the woods outside of Barry. The surprise did not leave his eyes. They darted quickly to his hands, which then covered his face. Lastly, he ran his fingers through his brown hair. The horror on his face was so unsettling that I dumbly sat there for several seconds before mustering the courage to address him again. Are you alright? Obviously not, but I wanted a better grasp on the situation. He attempted to sit up again, but this time I was prepared. Again, he was repelled by my touch, and I gave up the desire to help him that way. He still appeared unstable, but ceased his sudden movements at last. He actually did it.
The hell?
The hell? Thank you for taking my line, game. That was real nice of you. He clenched at his temples, his fingers grazing over the odd fixations in the place of his ears. He wobbled as he tried to stand, and I impatiently rushed to his side. Stop it. You obviously can't move in your condition, so you might as well sit down and clear your head. What is going on? Who are you and what are you doing here? He looked at me as if he was registering me for the first time since asking who I was. Everything about him screamed overwhelmed. That's an odd chunk of sentence. And he simply grit his teeth in frustration. Like I said, it's a choose your own adventure. So you have the, oh, I did not mean to press right click. Ask if he's hungry. Say nothing. I'm going to ask if he's hungry. I decided to find another angle to help him open up. I did not consider myself intimidating, but it was possible that he had no desire to answer anything. Are you hungry? Her face is far too enthusiastic for that sentence. Just look at that. Far too enthusiastic. I softened my voice and returned to my spot by the fire. I grabbed the cloth and gently offered him the fried bread and cheese. He only arched an eyebrow in disgust. What is that? It's food. You chew it. Look at her face. It's far too enthusiastic. I ripped off a piece of the dark bread and demonstrated, humming delightfully to show that it was edible. He scoffed and averted his eyes.
I don't care.
Well, too bad. Eat it anyways, you dick. I don't want it. It looks revolting. Sorry, my peasant food does not please my lord's tastes. See, that's better. His attitude was rubbing off on me. Calm down. If anything, he's hiding that he's scared. He did just wake up in a foreign place. Are you nobility? ... He fell silent, and only the occasional crackle of the fire and the hooting of owls interrupted the stillness. I leaned back and ruminated over my meal, careful to leave some food untouched in case he changed his mind. Ah, there was that apple tart too. I'll save it for later. Hold on. I'm fixing. There you go. I wrapped up the cloth, only vaguely aware that the stranger was examining my every move. It nettled me slightly, but I decided not to comment. I can't. I did not want to do anything that would cause him to raise his guard even more. It was now dark, and I occasionally fed the fire, getting the feeling I was going to be spending the night. After what seemed to be like a cough, like an eternity, he finally spoke up. I just spilled water on myself. Who are you again? So middle click, okay, middle click hides the chat bar. That's weird. Who are you again? Auralee. I'm the town from the berry. And you? Care? I'm gonna call you Kerr. Care? I honestly have no clue how that's supposed to be pronounced. It looks like it should be pronounced care because of the double R at the end. I'm gonna call you Care. There we go, that's your name from now on. He reluctantly uttered his name, gazing into the fire. He seemed much calmer now. And how did you get here? His lip curled, almost smirking knowingly. You probably wouldn't believe me if I told you. You have unusual eyes and a strange fashion accessory over your ears. I think I can find your story credible. He flexed his hand, scrutinizing his fingers carefully. I didn't come here willingly. Out of all the places, I don't see why he decided to drop me off in this low-born, simplistic ... care. He glared at me as if offended that I had addressed him directly. So where are you from? I'm not particularly tied to any region. If it's not obvious already, I'm not one of you. He tapped his knee petulantly. This game is interesting word choices. I'm one of the dragons, an earth dragon. He stated it full of pride, with no ounce of humility.